Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal here, and I'm bringing to you a one shot. And I know that Laz on Discord wants this to be a full series. I know he does. I know some of you may want this to be a full series, but this is only going to be one shot. And this is going to be what if Deku had a snake quirk? And how am I going to do this one shot, you may be asking? Well, you'll see in a second. So we start off 10-ish years before canon, and this girl is being born. It's Femdeku, obviously. And she's being born with a mutation. She has snake-like eyes, and her eyes close sideways, like snakes. But she can still close the eyelids, but there's a film on her eyes that is closed. And she has cold blood, so she needs people to warm her up, or she needs to be in a warm environment a lot of the time, like snakes do. And she can unhinge her jaw, like a snake can't. She has increased muscle density, like a snake. But she goes into hibernation if her body temperature drops too low. So that's the downside. That's easily solved with a warm suit. Now, it's the first day of UA for her. For her. She's been in school for her entire life, but she's always wanted to play the flute. And she finally got lessons on the first day of UA. And one of the classmates, and this is in Aizawa's class time, one of the classmates, Midnight, Nemaru, Nemaru, I think. Neru? I don't know. Knew how to play the flute. So she promised to teach Izumi. Yes, her name's going to be Izumi for this one. One shots, don't care about the name. It's only about the stuff that happens in the one shot. And she started to play the flute. And when she started to play the flute, everybody went into a daze-like state that they couldn't get out of until she stopped playing the flute and everybody went normal. So we skipped 10 years, and it's the time of the rest of the students coming into UA, and she's a teacher at UA. And she's the teacher for Class 1A. She's currently in the observation room looking around, and she's watching all the screens at once, because Snake's visions are a line across the horizon, and they're predators, so they have to keep an eye out everywhere at the same time. So she has a vision of all the monitors at once, and she notes down the looks and actions of certain people in the class. And we go to the first day of class, and she sees the angry Pomeranian come through, and she goes, "Oh, great, an angry Pomeranian." And she's in the back, just hiding in a heater, in a warming closet, because she can curl up into an unnatural position so she can shrink her size. Another one comes in, she's like, "Oh, great, the robot." And a few more come in, and she's like, "Oh, god damn, I get the worst class in them all." And so it's finally class time, and she opens up the box, and she walks to the front, and she just stands there. She's a little short for her age, and she just stands there, waiting for them to notice her, because she took lessons from Aizawa and Midnight to become a stealth hero, and she uses her stealth to get behind them and plays her flute to basically distract them, because any musical instrument, and she's very adept at all of them, she uses, and she has a way with music to make it to where they go into a daze-like state, where they forget what they're doing, and they just want to listen to the music. And she goes, "This is just going to get annoying." So she pulls up a flute, and she starts playing. And everybody forgets what they're talking about and just focuses on her. So she stops playing and goes, great, took you all fucking 5 minutes to shut the fuck up. And they're like, who are you? And she goes, I've been standing here for the last 5 minutes waiting for you guys to notice me. I'm your teacher, by the way, Izumi Midoriya, the snake hero. Soundwave. And they're like, who? And Jiro's like, oh my god, you're the one that uses music, aren't you? And she goes, I knew I would find someone that knows me. But I'm your teacher for this year. And if you piss me off, I can expel you. And they go, what? She goes, yeah. If you piss me the fuck off, I will expel you immediately. And I don't like perverts. And she's staring at Mineta now. And he goes, okay. And he's just, for some reason, scared of her. And she goes, okay, everybody, go to the changing room. You change into your PE clothes. And they go, we haven't gotten our PE clothes. And she goes, yeah, you have. They're in your lockers. They go, okay. So she gets her jacket on. It's like a big, thick snow jacket. She gets that on. She gets everything on. They're like, it's 100 degrees outside. And she goes, yeah, and I'm cold. And she walks out. And they walk out and they're sweating outside. And she's not even bothered by the heat. And she's currently in really thick clothes and a thick snow jacket. And they're all like, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. This is what I normally wear every day. Unless it's winter, which then I kind of bundle up twice as much. Or just stay inside in a warm place. Which is about to be winter. Fuck! And she goes, okay, first person up. Ochako Uraraka. And she throws the ball to Ochako and she goes, you have a levitation quirk. Use it on the ball and throw it. And Ochako's like, wait, how do you know my quirk? And she goes, just throw it, goddammit. And Ochako throws it. She gets infinite. And she goes, okay, the next strongest person on ball throw is Bakugo Katsuki. And she throws it out and she says, and here comes the angry Pomeranian. And he walks to the circle and goes, the fuck you call me? And she goes, exactly what you are, an angry Pomeranian. Now throw it. And he throws it and he's just going, whatever, the entire time. Just being mad that she's calling him what he is, an angry Pomeranian. And everybody else goes and they get canon scores, except Izuku's not on the list. And she goes, oh, fucking Christ. My God. The strength of our heroes has just been declining ever since All Might showed up. We need him to go away. And she says this, and All Might feels a little hurt. And she goes, you can come out, All Might. I know you're there. And he goes, ha ha, I am here. And she goes, we all know. Now say what you're about to say and leave. And he goes, okay. And he says, I wait to see her performances and everything. And he can't wait for the first heroes versus villains. And she goes, and she starts laughing maniacally. And they're all looking at her going, what's that for? And she goes, oh, nothing. Just come back after lunch. And she just waves them off. And she goes to her classroom and eats sweets. She can't stop eating sweets. That's also her weakness for food, is sweets. And everybody gets back to class and she goes, now that you are thoroughly fed, and I'm very, very annoyed that we have to feed you every goddamn day. Wish we didn't have to, but that apparently makes you stronger. When you're on a job, you sometimes can't eat for an entire 2 days, so everybody get out to the training ground. And they're like, which one? And she goes, Beta, obviously. And they go, okay. And she basically disappears. like Aizawa, if he goes around a corner, he's gone. She went underneath the table and she disappeared basically. And everybody went to the locker room, changed into their PE clothes, and went out to the field. Or not field, training ground beta. And they're in the city, and she's just standing there and goes, I know, I don't look like a hero. And she's short in this one. She is shorter than Uraraka. And I know I am very small and I demand a lot from you, but I'm here to prove that I am a good hero. I've been a hero for a while, and you, Jiro, and she looks at Jiro and says, you don't have to do this, but I would suggest you do this. And she goes, okay, what is it? And she says, well, you guys are going to be fighting me. And they go, what? And he goes, yeah, you guys are going to be fighting me, and you guys don't need to hold back, and what else? I don't get to use my instruments. And Jiro's like, wait. You're not using your instruments. And she goes, no, not using my instruments because I don't need them, and I'm not going to be using my Python-like strength because I don't need it. I'm just going to be using normal strength and my skills as a fighter. And they all look at her and go, yeah, you're going down. Everybody, including Ida. And Jiro's like, whoa. You've taken down the number one villain. I'm not going to fight you. And she goes, I gave you the choice to sit out on this one, and it looks like you're going to sit out on this one. And everybody looks at her and goes, yeah, no, you didn't take down the number one villain. And she goes, you'll see what I can do and what I can't do in a minute. So she takes off her jacket, she limbers up, and she's like, damn, it's cold out here. But you guys ready? And they go, yeah. And she just walks into a building, and over the comms, she goes, 3, 2, 1, go. And they all run into the building not knowing what she did. And Jiro's just walking to the observation room, and she sits down in the observation room, and she goes, okay, teach, how many traps did you put this time? And she goes, maybe 10, 20. I don't remember. And all of a sudden, everybody hears a violin playing. She never said she wouldn't use a recording of herself playing the instrument. She just said she wouldn't use her instruments. They hear a recording of her violin, and she's tested it multiple times, and it has the exact same effect as when she's playing it physically. And Jiro's in there and be like, they fell for it. And she goes, yeah. even the number one villain fell for it. And Jiro goes, yeah. Isn't that how you keep him in Tartarus nowadays? And she goes, no. He escaped from Tartarus a few days ago. All Might's on the case trying to find him. Then I'm supposed to go there to help stop him. So, and Jiro goes, oh, makes sense. Anything else I should know before I continue this class and continue in this class? And she goes, 3, 2, 1, cover your ears. And Jiro does so, and everybody in the area, the observation room, the fake city, all their ears start to bleed from the thumping from the stereos. Or the subwoofers. And she doesn't have very good hearing. She reads people's lips. So she's just waiting for the people to stop rolling around on the ground from pain. And she looks over at Jiro, and she gives her the 3, 2, 1, it's good. And Jiro starts talking again, being like, I'm guessing you used your ultrasonic specialty of the ear bleeding. And she just nods, being like, yeah. I'm hungry. You guys want a cinnamon roll or anything warm? And Jiro goes, no, I'm good. And she walks over to the heating pad that she had set out, and she had a cinnamon roll staying warm on it. So she starts eating the cinnamon roll, and Jiro smells the cinnamon roll and goes, I really shouldn't have declined. So we skip to the next day, and it's the heroes versus villains, and she's just there smiling and having a good time, and she's all wrapped up and bundled up, and All Might's like, I am here, and she goes, we all know if I can hear you, that means that you are too loud. And he goes, okay, everybody can hear me. And she goes, first off, I have the worst hearing out of anybody at the school, so I had to learn how to play instruments by just following people's hand movements. I recorded it, and then I turned it up. I'd have to put it at ear-deafening volumes so I could hear it and see if it was any good. So it took me like a year or two to actually master the instruments I play. Each of them. And they all look at her and they go, the category or the actual instrument? She goes, category. So stringed instruments, it took me a year or 2 years to figure out. Keyed instruments like pianos and pianos. Like that. It took me a year to figure out. And she lists off all the instruments that she can play, and that's pretty much all of them. But she says that the only one she cannot play is the damn trombone. And they go, why? And she goes, every time I start using it, I either crush it or... No, I just crush it. And they go, oh, makes sense. Trombone and tuba. So they all walk out to the city with their hero gear on. And she sees Jiro's hero gear and she's like, ooh, this will work. And she runs over to Jiro and she hands Jiro a disc. And Jiro goes, no. This isn't what I think it is, right? And she goes, what do you think it is? What do you think is it? And Jiro goes, you. And she goes, maybe. And Jiro goes, but I'll be affected too. And she goes, I have a little secret to my quirk. And she whispers it into Jiro's ear. And Jiro goes, oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. And she goes, that is a gift from me to you. Because we're music lovers and you love music and I love music. So we can jam together later. And Jiro goes, I'll do that. And she hides the disc away and she goes, wait, hold on. And she hands it back saying, can you give it back to me at the end of class? And Izumi goes, sure, I will. And she just hides it in her jacket. And she walks to the observation room and starts eating another cinnamon roll. And All Might goes, I don't think those are healthy for you. And she goes, you can stop moving your fat mouth up and down. I can eat whatever the hell I want because I'm a free woman. And she invited Midnight and Aizawa to watch over this because Midnight and Aizawa aren't needed that day. So Aizawa's there just watching over the students and Midnight's there talking with her significant other, Izumi. And Midnight says, are you really giving her the only copy? And she goes, yeah, why not? She loves music. She can use it as a weapon, especially with her quirk. She can put it in a tape player, connect her other ear, and start blasting it. And Midnight goes, true. And they continue talking, and she feels a thud coming from the direction of the city, and she turns towards the monitors and she sees Jiro's using her gauntlets. And she goes, those are some powerful speakers on her hands. And Midnight goes, what do you mean? And she goes, I can feel the vibrations from the speakers over here. So if the hand gauntlets are that powerful, then the leg shin guards with the speakers are going to be even more powerful. And Midnight goes, that's going to be powerful. And she goes, yeah. Because all they needed is to feel the vibrations from the music and the noise. And then they get affected by my quirk and the ability of the music I play. And she goes, yeah, true. And so everybody gets basically canon, except for Jiro's team. They win. I don't know if they win in canon, but they win. So Izumi's talking with Jiro after class, and Jiro's saying, so it's that simple. Just listen to a lot of it, and it'll stop affecting you. And she goes, yeah, it's that simple. But only Eraserhead and Midnight kind of know about that. And she goes, then why did you tell me? And she goes, because you have a nice quirk that will work with it. Your quirk can easily project it over a large area, and all it takes is just a little bit of vibrations to hit them, and they get affected. And she goes, true, then why didn't you give it to Mike? And she goes, I hear Mike on a daily basis. And Jiro goes, oh, okay, I understand that now. And she also goes, Mike is also Aizawa's husband. And Jiro goes, what? Aizawa Sensei's gay? And she goes, yeah, he is. I'm a lesbian, though. And Jiro goes, wait, what? She goes, yeah. You can come in, Midnight. I know you're behind the door. And Midnight walks in going, damn it, I forgot you have thermal vision when you want to turn it on. She goes, no, you just didn't care. And Izumi runs over and hugs Midnight, saying, warm. And she just cuddles on to Midnight, and she's basically hanging on to her Midnight's back like a child would. And Jiro goes, oh, okay then. And Izumi goes, don't think of this as strange. I've seen what you do when you look at Kaminari. And Jiro's like, what? And Izumi goes, exactly. And Midnight starts to laugh, being like, you're weird. And she goes, you're weirder. And she pokes Midnight on the side of the face, and Midnight goes, yeah, let's go home. And so they go home, and Jiro's freaking out because it's that obvious to her teacher. Is it obvious to Mina? Because Mina's the shipper. God damn it, Roman. So, God damn it, Roman. Every time I think of Mina, I think of you. Oh no. Fuck off! So, we move to the USJ, and the USJ is not as lively as last time because they don't have as many criminals. And all the criminals have the attack on their mind, and Jiro has successfully gotten over the effects of Izumi's quirk and the ability of her using the basically charmer side of the quirk. And so she starts playing the music on the speakers, and she's pointing it towards the villains, but all the people around her get affected except for Izumi. And Midnight. And Aizawa. All the villains get affected in every single zone. My cats are weird. They found a rope on my table and now they're playing with it. But let's get back to the what if. So all the villains get affected in all the zones, including the ones in the water zone, because they felt the vibrations through the water of the noise. And they forget what they're doing and they're like, why were we here again? So they just leave, and Shigaraki's like, Kurogiri, why were we here again? And he goes, young master, I do not know. And Aizawa stops their quirks and says, villains, you are coming with us. And so they basically taken Shigaraki and Kurogiri. They take them to the quirk jail, and they give them quirk canceling colors. But once they give Kurogiri the quirk canceling colors, Kurogiri falls dead. And it shows the body of Aizawa's friend. So, yeah. Shigaraki's stuck in jail. All for One finds this out, and he's like, damn it! A damn snake! And so he launches an attack on UA, completely obliterating the main building, but no one was there because everybody was at the training sections. Support course, general course, because Izumi convinced Nezu to give them just a tiny bit of training once a week. So everybody's training together, and everybody's getting a serenade from Izumi. And every time she serenades them, they forget what they're doing, and they have to remember what they're doing before they can continue. And if they don't remember what they're doing and they ask what they're doing, they get extra workout. So they have a mental exercise and they have a physical exercise. And we go to the sports festival. And All for One has been captured by Izumi because she was playing, and it was playing through the PAs. So All for One's like, what am I doing here again? And All Might was stationed at the main building, UA, just for safety reasons for the rest of the students. And All for One attacked, so All for One kept forgetting what he was about to do, and All Might, being used to Izumi's quirk by now, because I'm saying that One for All allows you to adapt a little bit faster to other quirks, especially ones like Izumi's. And so all the villains are tied up. No one's going to come and say you've All for One. Sports festival happens, like canon. Stain happens, like canon. Except, no, it happens like canon. Izumi just is the same agency as Midnight, and she takes on Jiro as a apprentice. They go to Hosu, and Izumi stops Stain because she makes him forget what he's doing. And Stain's like, who the fuck are you again? And she goes, I'm someone who doesn't give a crap if they risk their life to save others. And he goes, okay. So he tries to leave, but Midnight knocks him out with her gas. Stain is captured, less violently this time. No Nomu's released because Shigaraki and Kurogiri are captured. It's now the teachers versus students. And the only student that is required to fight their teacher and win is Jiro, because she's asked for extra classes and she's immune to the hypnosis effects from Izumi's music. So Izumi has to actually try, and she takes her jacket off, she gets her hero costume on, and it's not a flashy hero costume, it's not a tight body hero costume, it's a little mini dress. And hold on. It kind of looks like this. It's an armored dress, but it's still a dress. So while Izumi and Jiro are testing, everybody else goes, and Jiro doesn't have to fight Mike. And everybody else gets the canon scores except for Jiro. She gets a perfect score. She was tasked to capture Izumi, and she did. She used her quirk to turn on, or to kind of cool down the area somehow. science. She uses science to cool down the area. And Izumi got sleepy and went into hibernation. So she kind of just laid down in her spot and curled up into a ball. And her armor is supposed to help her stay warm, so she curled up in a ball and had her armor on, and that helped her stay warm. So Jiro just had to find her, and she can hide easily because she's shorter than Ochako, and Ochako is the shortest person in class. Well, besides Mineta, and also Mineta has been expelled by this time because Izumi found him peeping on the girls, so she kind of expelled him. And Nezu can't say shit because otherwise she would just hypnotize him and go, "Oh, Mineta is expelled." And Nezu would have to agree. So Mineta is expelled. Everybody else gets cannon scores. They go to the training camp. No villains attack the training camp because there's no LOV to attack the training camp. And we go to the training camp licensing exams. Yeah, licensing exams. And she's sitting in the bleachers and with Midnight, and she's oh, the box here. I'll be right back. I gotta do something. Okay, I'm back. And so what really happened is the LOV got disbanded before it really ever started. So it's the licensing exams everybody passes because Bakugo's had some behavioral training from Izumi and her music. And it's now time for the internships. And Izumi has Jiro internship at midnights, and Jiro internships at midnights again, and no. Yeah, internships. What's the first one then? The first one's the Stan arc, obviously, but they internship and Izumi's requested to be at Night Eye's agency and is supposed to patrol with Mirio because Mirio is supposed to patrol around the Overhaul, and they're planning a big raid with Overhaul soon. So Izumi, oh, I got a call. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. My grandmother's just checking on me because I'm currently alone at home. Sad face. Then happy face. I can say whatever the fuck I want. So, back on topic. So everybody's passed. It's currently the internships, and Mirio and Izumi, because it's got to be that team, run into Eri. And Izumi uses her music to charm Overhaul to make him forget what he was doing, and he sees that it's the little snake queen or snake charmer, and he's like, "Oh, how's your day?" And she goes, "Good. Weren't you just going back home?" And he goes, "I think so." And he walks away, and Eri was hiding behind Mirio, and Mirio goes, "Smooth," and she goes, "Yeah." And she looks at Eri, and she plays her music a little for Eri, and she gives Eri some heads and puts it in her ears and before she does, she goes, "This is going to help you calm down." And she puts it in Eri's ears, and Eri slowly calms down. Her quirk deactivates. The horn goes down. She feels like she's overheating. And Izumi's hugging her the entire time. And Izumi feels the heat and is like, "Oh, crap." And she taps Mirio and says, "Hospital, now." And he calls the hospital and says, "We need an ambulance," and says the street. And the ambulance comes, and they pick up Eri, Mirio, and Izumi, and they drive off. And later that day, Fat Gum reports that a quirk suppressant bullet has been uh, created, and there's a chance that it's a quirk canceling bullet soon. And everybody knows about the quirk canceling collars, and they're like, oh god, what is in this quirk canceling bullet? And Chisaikai finally comes out of his hypnosis and looks for Eri, and he can't find her anywhere. And he remembers that he was trying to chase her when he got hypnotized by that damn snake. So he calls for blood on the snake. So all the villains are now gunning for Izumi. And Izumi knows this and says, I need to lay low for a little bit because the villains are going to be gunning for me. And everybody's like, what do you mean? And she goes, Overhaul, the guy we were planning to raid in a few days, was chasing a little girl. And she pulls up a picture of Eri and says that he was chasing her, and I used my music to calm him down and make him go away. And they all know how scary her music is, because she can make them do whatever the hell she wants them to do while they're under the effects, but the effects wear off after a certain amount of time if she's not continuously playing the music. And she says that I use the music to hypnotize Eri into thinking that she's safe. And she is. So the feeling will never go away. And they go, okay, so what now? And she goes, continue the raid. I have sources telling me that he's the one that's producing the bullets. And so they continue the raid. They do the raid. Overhaul obviously doesn't have anything to protect, so he doesn't run away. He instead runs out with the rest of the group and says, where the fuck is that snake bitch? And she goes, oh, me? And she's on the PA system that the cops have. And she goes, oh, me? I'm nowhere. And she cuts out on the PA and goes away, and she's not there anymore. He's like, I want that fucking snake bitch's head. Kill all these heroes and give me that bitch's head. And all the villains are like, yeah! So they run at the heroes, and they get easily taken down because all the heroes are trained. And she's currently with Eri in the hospital, just being like, this is going to be very, very, very easy to do. And she's calming Eri down and having a fun time with Eri. And the thing about her hypnosis is if she says that she is safe and there's no need to worry, and it's an actual safe place and they don't need to worry there, the effect doesn't wear off. And Chisaikai, or Overhaul, was gonna go home, but with Eri. So he still had that goal in mind. Just he wanted Eri with him, but Izumi told him no, he just wanted to go home. So he had the effects wear off after a while because it wasn't his complete goals, it just took a long time. So the Overhaul's arc is done, and it's a sports festival. And Jiro is the main singer slash band choreographer, and Mina's, god damn it, Roman, Mina is still the dancer. So that happens like canon, and that is the end of the What If Izumi or Femme Deku had a snake quirk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, consider subscribing and liking the video. Talk to you guys later.